Now, I am a 24-year-old that has been living abroad from the UK for over 3 years now, and I give lots of advice. I like to think it's decent advice on this channel, and there's one piece of advice which I think is the most important out of all the advice that I give, and it's the starting point for anyone who wants to grow as a person, travel, have new experiences, learn about themselves, and that is to get out of your hometown. I always say I find it very hard to put myself in the mindset of someone who's happy just living their whole life in the hometown that they grew up. Fair play if you're happy in that situation, but for me, all I wanted to do was get out, explore the world, travel, and I really do think that anyone who's staying in their hometown is really limiting themselves to how much they can grow as a person and learn about themselves. And you're so limited, your potential is so limited if you're gonna stay in your hometown for your whole life, honestly, which is why I really recommend moving out of your hometown, because you can learn so much from it. You can check out this video here, I'll put it in the description. It goes into everything about why you need to leave your hometown in 2025, especially if you're someone in your 20s in the UK. It's the best thing you can do. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some things which happened because I left my hometown, and things that, these things that definitely wouldn't have happened if I'd stayed in my hometown. So hopefully inspire you guys who want to leave your hometown about the sort of stuff that can happen when you leave, things that happened to me because I made that leap, because I made that jump out of my hometown. So yeah, let's get into it. The first thing that wouldn't have happened if I'd stayed in my hometown was starting social media. Now, I've been on social media for over a year now. I've got a channel with my girlfriend, got my own YouTube channel, got my TikTok page, and I'm really doing social media a lot and hopefully wanting to turn it into a bit of a career in the future. And I started this about a year and a half after moving abroad, because when I moved, I felt this new confidence. I felt like because I was abroad, I wasn't conscious about what other people have to think of me. I'd already stepped out of my comfort zone a lot, and I just thought, I feel like I knew the future that I wanted to have. I want to build something for myself. I knew sooner rather than later I needed to get onto social media. I needed to start creating content and doing stuff like that. But I was always held back by the thoughts of like, I wonder what people are going to have to think of me and stuff. And I always put it off. But moving abroad, I was already in that state where I was like, I don't care what anyone thinks of me, and I'm just going to go for it. Would I have started TikTok and YouTube if I was still living at home in my hometown? Definitely not. I'd be too worried about what everyone has to think of me. People in my hometown would have been watching me, and I wouldn't have liked it, especially at the start. Now I've been doing it a year, I'm very confident in what I do on here, and if people in my hometown watch it and laugh at me, I do not care at all now. But if I'd been in that initial period, that first couple of weeks of creating content when I was still a bit out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't have liked people watching it, and I would have been held back and I wouldn't have started it. But moving abroad, it's allowed me to start that because I'm away from that hometown, that bubble, and everyone I know. And now I'm confident in what I'm doing. I don't care if people watch me from back home. In fact, I want them to watch me now, which only has been allowed to happen because I've moved from that hometown. The second thing that wouldn't have happened if I didn't leave my hometown was meeting my girlfriend. You may think, why can't you meet someone in your hometown? But for me, I needed to meet someone that was on the exact same page as me. Someone that wanted more for themselves, someone that wasn't afraid to move, someone that wasn't just going to the clubs every single weekend, stuck in that same routine, no ambition, knows everyone that I know, has slept with everyone I know. I didn't want anything like that. I met my girlfriend when I was doing my farm work in Australia. We were both in this period where we just moved to the other side of the world. We were feeling so free, we were so ambitious, we got so many plans, so many goals. And because we're on that exact same page, that's one of the reasons we've worked so well. And for me, it was my first ever relationship, and that's not a coincidence. It's because in my hometown, there would have been no one for me. I wouldn't have found anyone in my hometown who's on the same page, that wants to do the same kind of stuff. You look at my life the last few years, it's been a bit crazy. And without finding someone on that exact same page, a relationship wouldn't have worked. And meeting someone in my hometown that knows everyone that I know, it wasn't going to work, and that wouldn't have happened in my hometown, hence why I've never had a relationship before I moved. Point number 3 is seeing everywhere that I've seen over the last couple of years. This one kind of goes without saying, but I wouldn't have done half the stuff I've done in the last couple of years if I didn't leave my hometown. I've been to Australia, pretty much traveled the whole country of Australia, been to Southeast Asia, been to New Zealand, and had the most amazing experience. I've had so many incredible experiences in between as well. If I'd stayed in my hometown, you know what I mean, my life would have looked the exact same, and I wouldn't have seen anywhere near the same places that I would have seen. I might have been on the odd holiday, but it doesn't compare to traveling like I have. Number 4 is something that I've mentioned before, and it's that I've learnt my real interests and passions. When you're in your hometown, like I say, you're so limited to what you can experience and explore, and stuff like social media, as I said, I've been able to explore that interest and that passion. I've been able to explore my creative side. When you're going to the pub every weekend and going to work and that's all you do with your life, it's very hard to know what your interests are and your passions are. But when you start getting out there and experiencing different things, trying new things, you learn that you actually like different things to what you used to. And now I don't really give a shit about going out. I enjoy different things which I never used to enjoy, and I've only been able to learn that because I moved out of that hometown. And point number 5 is moving has showed me who really is close to me back home. When you're back home, you kind of, maybe you don't have as much of a good idea of who's really close with you, who your real true friends are, who even family, but yeah, just who your true close people are in your life. However, when you move abroad, especially for my case, I've been living abroad. I went home recently to visit, but before that I was away for over 2.5 years. And it became clear to me that after 2.5 years, if I'm still good friends with you, if I meet up with you and nothing's changed and we get on the exact same, and people want to meet me and make the effort to see me after that long, then they're my true friends. And no doubt I definitely had that at home. I got to see all my friends and nothing had changed with any of them, and that showed me that they're true friends, because if we weren't true friends, 2.5 years apart would definitely fade your friendship and you wouldn't really be that close anymore. With me, my friends and my family, my relationships with them hadn't changed at all, and any friends that I didn't really see at home or weren't really interested in seeing, well, it showed me that maybe we're not close friends. The people I did see, the people who made the effort to see me when I was back for a couple of weeks, they're the people who are really close to me. And you're gonna get to learn that if you leave your hometown, who your real true friends are, because they're the ones who will stick around and yeah, want to hear about your experiences as well. So there you go, there's some points on why you need to leave your hometown. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think. I don't see why anyone would benefit from staying in their hometown, and I'm hoping these points today have inspired you to maybe make that move yourself. And yeah, maybe some of these things can happen to you if you decide to make that leap. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon with another video.